whatever the description is with
Mm.
that character, I can emotionally relate to. And a
Yeah.
lot of things in Raymond, I can actually emotionally relate to. I kind of know some of his feelings and actually lived it and understand
Mm.
it. So it wasn't that hard to bring him out, but it was more hard of being entertaining as I bring him out.
What's going on, everybody? This is Andrew Jacob Brown with Confound Productions, and I am here with Leonard Freeney, one of my cast members. He is going to be playing Raymond, and we are going to get into the weeds. So, thanks for joining us on Actors on After.
Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
And this is all about you, man. So, let's just chat a little bit. I wanted to open up and go right into it and ask you a little bit about your career. Maybe just a little bit about how you got started in acting, and then we can get into the weeds about what you're doing now besides after. But I'd love to know, just for the audience, just tell them a little bit about how you got into acting. Um, whether was it a young age? Was it you take it away? I'd love to hear
Let's
from
do it. For
you.
sure,
Yeah,
man. Well, first off, thank you for having me, man. I'm just honored to be here, first of
of
all.
course.
So I'm very, very, very excited. So yeah, man, it's been
Mm,
a long journey, bro. Going back about 5 years ago when I first started, I mean, I didn't know what I was doing. But I had jobs previous to my acting career. I like helping people. And I worked at a hospital for some
mm.
years, and I have a lot of experience in helping people, and I have a lot of stories on the people I met there. Very
I have to
interesting
say,
people.
I have to
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
I've seen a lot of that. I will definitely plug you for that because I've seen your social media, and you definitely have been in classrooms. You're helping kids. I've seen you do a lot, so I commend you for that. That's awesome. That's what I love
Thank
about
you.
your character, Leonard.
Thank you.
But
Thank you.
please
And that
continue.
was nothing to show or promote. There was nothing about film. It was just something that I like doing, just on my spare time, So
Mm,
yeah, when you connect with your patients, man, you start getting to deep conversations. And a lot of my
yeah.
patients were telling me, like, hey, some about you, have you tried acting? And
Oh,
it was just kind of like flattering, And I said, well,
yeah.
I've done some extra work, but never actually took it serious. And I remember this one lady, honestly, man, it was this lady. She was sick, wasn't in her best health, but just for her to be in the
Mm,
hospital and telling me, and I remember word for word, she said that something about you, you're very unique. You're something about your energy. You're going to
mm.
be big, and honestly, she blew
Wow.
my head up so big, man, I couldn't even fit out the door on my way out. And I never really
Uh,
will forget her. But I showed her an article about being a CNA because as a CNA, they did an article on me then. Didn't ask for it, didn't know they were going to do it. Just I
yeah.
got called down to
Yeah.
the main the building because they had scholarship program. So that's how I was able to get my certificate to be a
Mm,
CNA. They called me
okay.
down. Was like, "Hey, you're Leonard, right? We're gonna do an article on you." Okay, so I showed my patient the article, and she was
Yeah.
like, "Mother intuition,"
Wow.
and I said, "Thank you so much. I'm gonna look into it." And I looked into it, and from then on, I haven't stopped working as an actor ever since.
Wow. I want to say that, and I would say this about everybody. Everybody has a creative part about them. Yeah,
Right,
we all have different personalities, and I think
right,
that usually weighs into what kind of creative outlet we have. Some of us are athletes, and we can't sit
right.
still, and so getting to the technicals aren't us. But there's just so many things with creatives that we could do. So many different outlets, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Some do poetry, some do singing, but
Yes.
you found your thing. You were bitten by the bug. It sounds like.
Hey, by faith, man, just trusting my
Yeah.
instinct, and that was just a great moment where that
Yeah.
set the tone to let me see other options, like you just mentioned, exploring
Yeah.
your creativity, and I mean, little what I know, man. I mean, I'm still learning as I go, so I'm always
Yeah.
humble and thankful, so for
Yeah.
sure, I've pretty much been working ever since. You name it, I've done
I love
it.
that. I love that you're saying that. I love that about you because you definitely got to be humble because I think there's always a temptation for any of us to
Yeah,
whenever we hit a momentum, we start to get this head swell, different kind of swelling going out the
right,
door. You know what I mean?
right, right.
And I think it's always trying to remember, like, hey, that we got a lot to learn, constantly
Exactly.
learning. And
Exactly.
I do, I know I do 100%. Like
Yeah.
I don't got it all together by a long shot. you know, I think
Right.
I'm at the bottom of the line sometime in some areas, but man, that sounds like a cool start. So, and you've been bitten now. How long ago was that? If I can ask.
So to be honest, technically 4.5 years ago, I started 2020 in February, to be
Hey,
exact. Be right
okay,
before COVID. I mean, you still had to stand in line for auditions. Next,
yeah, yeah,
number 25. With the big sign on your
yeah, yeah.
chest, and here you come. I'm number 25, and I'm playing Robert. And then you just go. So right
So,
before COVID, man. I auditioned for a college film because I just knew my lane, and I felt like if I had to learn by experience, go out there firsthand, and I needed a
yeah.
strategy. So I looked at the film department in my local college because they always need actors, and a lot of actors always ask me how to start, and I can't tell them how. I just tell them to start,
Mm,
and my way to was to jump out there head first. Some people
yeah,
like schooling, some people
yeah,
like to PA. Me, I just
yeah.
auditioned at a college film, booked my audition. I mean, I was cast, and
Hmm.
from then on, that's how I learned, I guess, proper set ethics. Just to be on set, to be professional, and I watched everybody. I watched who was good. I watched who needed work. I mean, I was just a sponge,
Hmm.
soaking everything I could.
That's awesome. You get you kind of made me think about something there. And I've had this talk with a lot of people, a lot of different actors. And one thing is like, um, I feel like there's two kinds of people,
Mm,
maybe more, but as far as acting goes, I kind of jumped in like you did. I didn't go to
mm,
acting school, and I didn't do theater. I think you did theater, right? You told me
mhm.
that before.
Yeah.
And for me, I was like one of those kind of like a mechanic. I jumped in hands on and just started learning. And
Mhm.
now I think that's how my brain processes. Now, I think I would have benefited if I went to school. It just didn't work out
Right.
that way because I started writing first, went
Mm.
from writing to picking up a camera, understanding filmmaking, and then getting into acting and just kind of taking the whole package.
Mm.
And I think it's interesting, man, because there are a lot of big actors today that never took an acting class, and
Right.
most people don't know
Right.
that. Like
Right.
I mean, some of them have a background, but I've heard all sorts of stories. Like Jennifer Lawrence is one, and there's a bunch.
Mm.
Even Chris
Yeah.
Pratt, I think, might be another one. But there's a bunch of them that haven't, and they
Yeah.
just kind of had it. Now,
Right.
did they learn along the way? Of course. I mean,
Right.
and I think that's something we all got to do. Like some of you guys that do theater, man, my hats off to you. That's such a you guys are the real actors. I mean that. Like I can't imagine the prep work that goes into that to get
And
on
mind you,
stage.
right. And mind
Yeah.
you, like never having theater experience, just jumping
Mm-hmm.
on
Mm-hmm.
that, looking, a writer or a director who's willing to take a risk
Yeah.
to, hire me as an actor for this
Yeah.
production. I mean, that's not nothing to take lightly because
No.
your name and the production name, is on the line.
Mm.
So I done theater just to become a better actor, just to learn
Mm.
different styles of acting. So what got me booked for theater roles was the fact that I was able to learn and take direction. So these directors saw
Nice.
that in me. They saw that I was a film actor. They saw that I was all about face, but they were willing to
Yeah.
work with me to have more body movement and to, teach me basic fundamentals of theater. And it came
Nice.
out beautiful. And I've done two theater productions so far. This last one was in February. Jackie Robinson Stills Home. There was a tour. And I want to
Okay.
give a huge shout out to World Press Theaters because they definitely supported me and stuff like that. So
Dang.
um, yeah, just all to become a better actor. Even being a PA, I was a PA for a
Mm.
lot of reality TV shows, and I have so much respect for PAs because I mean they're there before everyone gets there, and
Oh
they
man.
leave after everyone is gone. So they break down sets, they set up
Yeah.
sets. I mean, they're always on their walkies. I mean, they treat their talent really good, professional. They make them feel safe. They transport. I mean, it's
Hmm.
just I became a better actor just helping them out of being available when needed. They didn't have to check on me. So it's just little things like that, you know? So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, bro.
Did you find that that because you said you started right before COVID. So did you
Right.
find that when COVID came about, did that kind of thrust you into it more, like make it easier for you? I'm curious now.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So what happened, before
Excuse me.
COVID, and we all know everything was up and running. Wasn't a lot of I can side hustles like Uber and stuff like that. So we didn't really
Mm-hmm.
have all of these things. So, but when COVID came and I was forced to stop working, stop auditioning,
Oh, yeah.
that fueled my fire to go at it harder because I had nothing else going on. I mean, I just
Yeah.
stopped my job. I mean, I'm kind of stuck, and then nothing is open. Everything is shutting down. So it's like, what are you going to do? So I stayed in my rabbit
Mm-hmm.
hole, working out, all body weight, push ups, sit ups, got my
Yeah.
body right. So now, like, I have photo shoots where I take my shirt off, and it's like, it's a confident thing,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that just fueled me to kind of go more intense with my career because I had nothing else going. I had nothing else, no other hobbies. I couldn't leave. And sitting by the computer looking at and I wasn't even signed with my agent then. See, so I'm
Uh-huh.
on the computer looking at agencies,
Yeah.
what's best for me, production companies. I mean, you name it. Since you're home, you might as well utilize your time.
Yeah,
So
that was
yeah,
fun. That was an interesting time because a lot of people were doing that, and they were doing that in every area. Like they were doing
yeah,
that with stocks, they were doing that with weights. Like
yeah,
I couldn't buy a dumbbell to save my
yeah,
soul
right.
because they were all sold, all sold out. And that was such a weird time, but
Wasn't it? Yeah.
kind of for me too because um, I was working a full time job because my job
Mm,
was essential. So they
mm,
didn't shut down for what I was doing, and I thought, okay, I'm still going to make a film. So I
right.
did, and that's when I made COVID-19 Response.
Uh,
Made the first COVID movie in the world and got
wow.
distribution on it. I made a lot of people mad, I think, because people couldn't get their stuff distributed, and I ended up getting it
And
distributed.
you did.
Yeah,
Amazing though. It's an amazing thing.
that's
You was able
funny.
to kind of find the cracks in the
Yeah,
concrete, man, and
yeah.
somehow doing your magic, man.
Well, I
That's
shot it in my
amazing.
house, so what can anybody say? I didn't go anywhere.
Right?
But
Yes, sir.
anyways, we don't have to get into the weeds on that. I just thought it was interesting. You said you started right before COVID, and I can see how that would kind of maybe helped you a little bit,
It did. You know what I
launched you
noticed with some people? It either kind of helped them or
or shut
kind
them
of
down.
yeah. And
Mhm.
I guess with that, you don't know what that pandemic done. Like you don't
Yeah.
know when it hit, it just hit. You can prepare for it. So
Hmm.
I could see how it kind of molded people's lives like in different way. But somehow for me, man,
Yeah.
it just kind of like went hand in hand.
Yeah.
Luckily, so it's just me paying attention to my surroundings, my environment, trying to stay prepared for the worst. I guess
Mm.
that's what kind of helped,
Yeah.
so
And here you are, man. And now okay, so now you got an agent and
mhm.
you've been doing well there. You've been on some shows. I know the biggest one that everybody talks about is the Wakanda. Is
Yeah,
that Wakanda Forever? Is that the one?
yeah,
You were next
Wakanda
door.
forever.
Now, I did
Yeah,
see since I brought that up, I did see like a clip
yeah.
from there, but it wasn't
Uh-huh.
actually in the film. Is that right? Or,
Yeah, it's in the film. So
oh, it is in the film.
yeah,
Okay.
so behind the scenes, we shot so many
Right.
different scenes in that science room.
Yeah.
So but they kept. So if you look at the beginning, there's a quick
Yeah.
snapshot of me. You look throughout the movie, even in the
Okay.
village, there's quick snapshots of me and stuff. But
So,
the main scene was me walking in with Makila Coel
yeah, I
and with
saw I
Letitia
saw that.
Wright being
Yeah.
a security guard slash scientist. And
That's
me
cool.
actually saying, okay, they didn't mic me, but you get.
Yeah, yeah.
So I had like a small few second interaction
Yeah.
with the characters or the talent,
That's
and then I
awesome.
walk off, and it was like a good 5 second. I mean, you can clearly see they put that scene in there to help me
Yeah.
out because I
No, that's
look at
money.
this. Yeah, it's funny because I even look at the movie,
No, I
man.
meant
It's like
money. That's
okay,
money.
yeah, like thank you. They kept that in there specifically, and they kept bringing me on set to help out a lot. So I guess they must have felt my energy like I was there one to help out.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that was just by I don't want to say by luck, man, because I really was
Yeah.
hired to just be background. And the director, Ryan Coogler, thank you. You know, shout out to him, man. He
Yeah.
discovered Michael B. Jordan, and he worked with Chadwick
Nice.
Boseman, and here he is
Yeah.
bringing me on set, and Leonard, go get Leonard, and now I'm on set helping out the best way I can. So that was his, suggestion to bring me in there. So I thank him for that.
That's incredible. And so was that accredited? Did you get credit for that?
Uncredited.
Yeah,
It
see, I
was
didn't get
credit
that.
uncredited,
Why do you? I don't understand how you get accredited if you're on scene. Like if you're on.
and
I'm
I'm,
still trying
I'm,
to figure that part out.
yeah, I
And
don't
that
know,
doesn't
man.
matter. You're there. I mean, I just everybody's gonna look it up and see it. But
I don't know, bro. And look, I was on set calling SAG because I was doing stand-in.
yeah,
I was doing a lot of stuff. So I was trying to see, like, is there a way I can get Slither in to where I'm actually can get an actual credit and speak and
mm,
get mic'd up. But I knew it was all on the production's
yeah,
preference. So
yeah,
what they did for me was the best they could at that time. You know what I'm saying? So I really appreciate that. Then I
yeah.
asked as far as, different ways of being on SAG, as far as all the extra background work that I have done in the past, like Big Mamas, Flight, hall pass, my
Yeah.
what to expect when expecting. Um,
And you have
you
a
name it,
quite
man.
little
I'm
run
right
there.
there. Yeah,
Quite a
yeah,
little run there in those 4 years, brother.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
incredible. That's incredible. No, it is. It's you
Thank
should
you.
hold your head up for that. That's super awesome. And so there you go. That's what I was getting at. You went from
I know.
from this idea to as a CNA, right? So you
Yes,
said,
sir. Yep.
boom, COVID, acting, agent, roles, and that doesn't always happen for everybody. And I think that's amazing that you're going. And we're blessed to have you on the After series now. So here we are talking about actors on After. So let me just bring that up for a second. So
Okay.
we met through Tony Cottle in the Tennessee film
Yep.
community, and we are kind of in a group. We went to the Mixer, and I think that was the first time you and I really interacted at the Mixer.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a busy night, and we never really kind of got the chat because we were kind of on duty, if you know what I mean. Like we were
Yeah.
helping out, but that went away, and then it was the ICFF.
Yeah.
Nashville, and then you applied for Raymond. I remember that. So
Yeah.
you applied for the role of Raymond, and it was amazing because you put this twist on a character, just a little bit. It wasn't over the top.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, man, okay, somebody understands me because you got it on the page.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody gets it by seeing it on the page, and auditions are always hard, man. And nobody ever gets 100% because we don't know as actors, we don't know.
Right.
But you did great, and
Thank you.
man, I was like, I put you on hold for a while. and I know that drives people insane because I did it to a few other actors that we ended up hiring, but it was like I was playing this like this matching game with
Mm.
actors because
Okay.
like I had to match family members, and then I wanted to match villains, and there were so many things that were going into what I was looking for. And
Okay.
but you checked all the boxes. I was just like, dang. And
Appreciate
I
it.
mean that. I mean that. And I was just like, okay, I gotta get him on eventually, but I think he's gonna be all right if I put him on hold.
Hey, to
But
be honest, man, I mean, we always got that in the back of our head. Like, did we do good? Is they're gonna call? I mean, they say they're
I,
gonna call, but we don't know.
well, I'm a man of
Don't
my
reach back
word.
out. Don't get on their nerves. They're gonna call you.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. No, I get it.
So
And I'm a man of my word. And
for sure.
I have, and I'm not saying this to like toot my horn or anything, but I mean, I know how it is. And so I've always been one of those people that tries to reply if I can. I get sometimes I have this problem where I try to give too much information,
Mhm.
and as a producer, you don't need to do that. Like they just
Okay.
need to wait. And
Yeah.
but I did tell you, I was like, hey,
Yeah.
you crushed it, and you did kill it, like over
Appreciate it.
everybody, and that's
Appreciate
why
it.
you're here. And so this character Raymond, who's this sarcastic, scraggly, selfish street rat, only thinks of himself, has no friends, and will cut your throat, kind of deal.
Right.
And I just want to talk about that for a minute, and what might have attracted you to that role, because
Mhm.
you and I had talked about some of the other villains,
Yeah.
in the After series. And when I was almost entertaining, like, wow, I wonder if he would do an audition for this other character. You were like, I like this Raymond character.
I remember
So
that.
tell me your thoughts
Yeah.
on Raymond, if you would.
Well, first off, when I look at a role, I have to have some similarity or commonality with that character. So I try to look at whatever the description is with
Mm,
that character, if I can emotionally relate to. And a
yeah.
lot of things in Raymond, I can actually emotionally relate to. I kind of know some of his feelings and actually lived it and understand
Mm,
it. So it wasn't that hard to bring him out, but it was more hard of being entertaining as I bring him out. So the creativity of Raymond was how my facial expressions was going to be, how the hair is going to be.
mm,
Maybe he likes to eat and don't brush his teeth, so he maybe got food all in his teeth. He said raggedy, so and I'm not saying I can relate to him with the image part. I'm talking about the feelings. Him being a
yeah.
loner.
Mm,
Um, him being a villain or looked at as a villain. I've been around people who are sarcastic like him, who likes to get things going, so I can imitate who I've been around.
yeah.
Someone that I know I grew up with. Okay, there's similarities with that person and Raymond. Okay, I've been around this person, so
Mm,
there's a lot of things that when I look at a character, I have to see if I can relate emotionally first. And then once I knock those emotions out the way, then I just create, as we know, like the image, the scraggly, the
yeah.
facial expressions, how his posture, stuff like
Hmm.
that. So the reason why I feel like I can relate to Raymond, man, is that he feels some sort of disconnect from society, and I feel like that may can trigger his emotion to why he is the way he is. Now,
Mm,
story wise, we can always go into that, but I can just relate to
yeah.
why he can feel like the world is against him, why he feels like
Mm,
F it, I'm going to give up and I'm going to be a villain. I'm going to be
hmm.
antagonizing people. I'm going to steal. Some people actually have these emotions where they want to live this
Yep.
way but can't because they know it's wrong. But what
Hmm.
if you can in a world somewhere else? What
There you
would you
go.
do?
There you go. I love that. I love what you said. I love everything you just said. And gosh, you got me thinking there. I always think I've heard this from other actors,
Mhm.
and since I've been acting, and I've been acting right around the same time.
Mhm.
2018 is when I started, and
Okay.
so I've been taking characters on. Of course, a lot of them I've written, but what I've seen is they're an extension of yourself. A lot of the characters are. I mean, that's why you see some people where it's like you see Tom Cruise and you're like, hey, he's the
Mhm.
same guy almost in every movie, but he does it so well.
Well, yeah,
But I
yeah.
mean, then there's other character actors like Gary Oldman that they did kind of disappear in their act, and you're like,
Right.
dang, this guy, you know. But I really feel like a lot of the characters are kind of an extension to yourself, and that's why you
Yeah.
do so well at it.
Yeah.
But of course, they're not all you. But I like
Right.
what you said. You felt a connection to this character,
Right.
and I think that's what made your performance so strong in what you did.
And not caring, bro. Like just not caring and being dedicated and giving it all
Yeah,
I have, no matter what. I mean,
yeah,
nothing was left out the table. I mean, of course, we have our moments where should we do this, should we do that? But when you give yourself all to your auditions and your character,
mm.
usually you'll get your answer because it will come
Yes,
out. So
yes, man, I love it.
for sure.
Um, Let me ask you. Okay, so this series, I mean, it's a faith based series. It's apocalyptic series.
Hmm.
It kind of checks a lot of the boxes. In fact, 90% of the answers I get when I ask the question, "What drew you to this project?" Most of them
Hmm.
say, "Ah, it's apocalyptic. I love apocalyptic stories," and I
Hmm.
think that is kind of one genre that people love.
Hmm.
Um, but I mean, what are you excited about? I guess just going into this project because you've been fortunate, I'd say, Leonard. You've been doing a lot of different projects
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
lately. As of late, I saw you attached to a bunch, and so. But
Mhm.
what about this one? What's on your mind with this project?
Man, I'm always nervous, man. I'm always excited and nervous at the same time. I looked at some of the cast members I'll be working with, and they all are amazing. First off, I mean, There's
Nice.
a lot of talent on your roster, and I haven't had a chance to work with them on set. This is why it's kind of like nervousness
Mhm.
behind it. But I've seen
Yeah.
all of their progress. You know, on
Yeah.
social media, they're always working. It just you have talent from all over, man, and
Yeah.
I'm excited to go into this to see what we all from different places and different just walks of life, what we all can just bring together as a conglomerate, man, and make
Mhm.
something for the people. So and I've done a lot of faith-based films. Shout out to a lot of people. There's a,
Awesome.
production called Broken Road that will be coming out soon. You'll be seeing
Okay.
them in that
All right.
faith-based,
I like
and
it.
I've just feel more comfortable with the message of spreading the word of the higher power. I do believe in the higher
Nice.
power. I
Nice.
believe in the Creator, and I
Nice.
believe there's messages in the way we live.
Nice.
This is why we have morals. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So this goes right side by side with my journey and my path, man, and all the people
Dude.
that you got working with you, man. I mean, whew, I'm at the
we
break it now.
we have been. I tell you, I'm going to go out on a limb and say a few things here, but I'm not going to not give any details. But I kind of got blasted a while back
Mm,
on Facebook, and I always think it's immature when people blast you on Facebook.
mm,
And one thing I learned was, and it's as hard as it is, man, is don't fight back.
right.
Just just leave it alone.
Yep.
Let them say what they need to say. But
Yep.
I had one person say, "You're taking this too seriously.
Mm,
You're taking your casting too seriously. It shouldn't take you that long." And day players aren't that important. It was along those lines, and I'm like,
right.
okay. Now I take a while because I really feel that casting is everything,
Right.
and for what I do, it's everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because I rely on the performances of actors. They drive the story.
Yeah.
I understand there's a lot of elements to filmmaking. Hold on just a second here.
Mm-hmm.
um, my dog over here whimpering. We won't cut that out. I have a dog. Um, but there's a lot of elements that go into filmmaking,
Right.
and you know a lot of us are doing things on a lower budget because we're not in the Hollywood studios.
Right.
And so for me, casting is everything. I want the best actors for these roles. And if we rush through it, then you're going to get hit and miss and
Yeah.
maybe not be happy. So
Right.
I take my time,
Yeah.
and it drives people bonkers. But when you're saying to me right now, confirming that, hey, and I appreciate you, Leonard, for saying it, that we got a great cast and people are coming from all over,
Yeah.
and I'm blessed by that. I got that same humble mindset that you do. I'm like, wow, I got these guys, and they got chops. Like they're
Yeah.
good, and
Yeah.
and and I'm blessed by that. That I got people coming, and I could tell you, I got Texas, I got Tennessee, Arkansas,
Yeah.
Florida, North Carolina, Wisconsin,
Woo.
Alabama, Georgia. I'm not making this up. Like these are people coming in because they believe in me and they believe in the project. And
Yes.
I can't do it without you guys. And
Right.
that's what's so beautiful about it. I would say the same thing. Bringing us together from all different walks of
There
life
you go.
and seeing what we can create together. And I'm humbled by that, big time.
There you go. And
So
just to kind of go a little bit further, what you were saying,
sure.
you got everybody that's just dedicated to their craft. And I like how you say that you don't get sidetracked about negativity. The best way to respond is no response. You don't give any energy or feeling towards anything negative that's not going to align with your journey. And that's how I was able to stay relevant so long. I mean, if I was to tag any and everything that somebody said about me, I probably wouldn't get this far. We may have never met,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah,
you just let the stuff roll off you like water, man. Because at the end of the day, you see what I'm saying. So
yeah,
I'm very, very, very blessed to know, and I've got to learn myself through this journey in acting, man. And I'm very proud of the fact that I became who I am,
yeah.
and I'm aligning myself with people that's just like me. Now I feel like
Mm,
I have a home. Now I feel like I won't be judged. People
yeah.
won't
Oh
have
yeah.
their own judgments, their own opinions. We're just here for one good thing, is to tell a great story, because this is what we love to do. Nothing else
Mm.
matter. So for
You
sure.
know, I think we talked a little bit about that on a Zoom a while back. How
Hmm.
we at times as artists we feel kind of
Yeah.
alone,
Yep.
and I guarantee you, people watching this right now that are they're going to be thinking that like,
Yeah.
or they're going, "Yep, I know what you're saying." Because
Yeah.
as an artist, we it's like the only people that understand us are the artists,
Yeah.
you know, and there's some truth to that. I'm not saying the only people, but
Yeah.
it feels that way
Yeah.
when you go to a place and they're like, "Hey, what do you do?" And it's like, "Oh, you know, I work in an office," and I'm like, "Awesome, man. What do you do?" "I'm an engineer, you know, police officer." And then, "What do you do?" It's like, "I'm an actor," and they're like, "Oh,"
Yeah.
they perk up and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
what else do you do?" "Oh, well, I mean, I make film and you know, I'm in the film industry." And like, "Oh, you know, have you done anything I've seen?" You know, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you
Yeah.
know, there's a lot of films out there, you know,"
Yeah.
and you just feel like, man, they're like, "Oh, you got a movie coming out?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, we're working on distribution. Have you ever thought about Netflix?" And you're like, "Yeah, I've never thought of that before.
You know,
Never thought of
yeah.
it, you know." And
Yeah.
but God bless their hearts, you know, they don't know any better. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
but that feeling of you know, being around other artists
Yeah.
that are kind of like your people,
Yeah.
they really do understand you, and you do feel like you have family
Yeah.
in the things that you're interested in.
And that means a lot because,
Yeah,
you know, we're always trying to make people feel better or feel good and we bring laughter and joy to people. But what about us, you
yeah,
know? And it got to the point where, like,
yeah,
a lot of times, you know, when people ask me what I do, a lot of times I wouldn't even say acting because
yeah,
now this is my opinion. When they hear some of the stuff I've done, I get the, yeah, right. You like, well, how come, you know?
yeah,
So it's like,
yeah,
well, I shouldn't say anything
yeah.
because it's like, I don't know if it's that good, they don't believe it, or it's just they don't think it's serious. But then always one thing that I always say, well, I was in Black Panther.
Oh yeah, the
Oh,
Black Panther. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I gotta check you out. Hey, let me get a picture with him.
All of a sudden,
Oh,
it validates you.
and it's like, wait a minute. I told
Wait a
you
minute.
film and stuff. And it's like now it's like, okay, what else? But then you mentioned Black Panther. Now it's official. You don't know what I
Yeah,
did. You don't. I could have just,
you know,
been a graphics guy. You know what I mean? But
and you know what? That is unfortunate because it's like that even years ago when the film industry was hot
yeah.
and there were stars. A lot of them had been doing it for years,
Mm-hmm.
and then they got that one role, and it was
Yeah.
like boom,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Man, you know, you finally, you know, you made it," you know, and it's like, I've been doing this for years. Like, it's not an overnight success.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
you're right, Leonard. I mean, it is funny when you name drop something, people freak out about it. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
and if you're not a part of something they've heard of before, then you're nobody.
There you
Yeah, it's
go.
not important. It's like, nah, that's not fair
What do
because
you really do? Is that it?
it's, yeah,
If they
it's
don't
such a
know.
small percentage to be a part of a great project
Right.
with billions of dollars behind it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I think with you being on that is amazing. I do.
For sure.
But it
For sure.
does. I can only imagine you being in your shoes. You know, saying,
Man.
"Yeah, I'm in the film industry," and they're not listening, and then you say "Wakanda Forever," and they're like, "Oh, what?
Right.
What?"
Yep.
Um,
So
but
yeah, man, I just take one thing at a time, Now it's like there's no validation, I mean, I'm happy where I'm at. I'll tell you, actor, if you don't believe it, oh
mm,
well. If you do, I appreciate it. We can work together. I'm always open.
yeah,
But other than that, like, I keep it moving because at this point I'm sure of myself. Whether I make it
yeah,
or not, I've done great. I've done my best,
be proud
and
of it.
I
Yeah,
can never be hard on myself for doing my best, no matter where it takes me, And I
that's
and I tell
awesome.
that to anybody when everybody or whoever I talk to that's down, because I've
Mm,
spoken at schools, I've spoken at events and stuff. I tell people, we can be
mhm.
hard on ourselves if we don't make it to where we
Yeah,
think. But if you do your best, come
or
on, man, you did everything in your power. That means that it wasn't your choice. If you've done everything you can and you feel like you didn't get that results because that result wasn't in your control, you can never worry about what's not in your control. You see what I'm
mhm.
saying? So yeah, man. As long as we
We
do our
are kind of
best,
our worst critics, aren't we? At
for
times.
sure.
That's another thing about artists. Being friends with other artists, they lift
Yep.
you up when you're down.
There you go.
I try to do that with people that are down, and my artist friends, other actors, and they definitely do that for me. I get in
That's
my low
good.
places, and they're like, "Hey, man, snap out of it. You're gonna
Yep.
make it. It's okay. You're all right." I used to be afraid to say what I did when I was
Mm,
going places too. And I
mm,
remember when I had a job, full time job, while I was doing what I was doing, it was so much easier. You know what I mean? It's like,
mm,
hey, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I'm a garbage man or I'm a bread delivery driver. I've done a lot of delivery jobs
mm.
throughout my life, and it was so much easier to say that. And oh yeah, I dabble with writing and I dabble with acting. But then when I took it on full time, you go to a place and it's like or church, and they're like, hey, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, And here's a little funny
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
and this is funny. Moving from Oregon to Alabama, Huntsville, half the people are engineers out here.
Really?
They're all
Wow.
smart. They all work at NASA or or the military. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm surrounded by brain power.
Ooh,
And I'm like,
wee.
what do you do? And I'm like, I'm a starving artist, you know?
Yeah.
And all you guys that are watching, don't laugh because you are too. You're a starving
Facts.
artist too.
Right, right.
Uh,
That's how we
you
all
know,
start. So that's
we're
right.
all
Welcome.
hurting, man. But I've been fortunate to be able to get where I'm at and to be able to continue on.
It's hard,
Um,
bro. It's hard. I mean, this level that we're at is
yeah.
hard. I mean, this level took years. I mean, how long does it take for me to make it? 6 months, 8 months? I mean, this is years.
You may
So
never.
no, there's no months in this unless you have some celebrity family members that's like, hey, we're gonna cash you, nephew, in this big project, nephew, cousin, brother. But just starting from ground zero and where we're at, man. I mean, this was minimum 4 years plus. So I mean, just people gotta understand. I mean, this is a long, long journey, man. It's
Mhm.
hard
Yeah.
work. It's fun, but
Yeah.
it's still hard at
Yeah.
the same time. It's sacrifices, it's risk. Sometimes you may have to budget differently to pursue
One.
this. I mean, it's a lot,
Mhm.
man. So
Do what you love. They say, if they do what you love, you never work a day in your life.
there you go. There you go. And then
Oh,
also too, man, I
what's
want to
up?
give a shout out to somebody real quick, man, because this is
Go
a movie
ahead.
that just came out, and I just thought of it since we're talking about film and production.
Yeah. What
I
you
want to
got?
shout out to Ricky Burchell, man. I appreciate everybody in Nashville. We just had a premiere recently. The movie's called The Six,
Oh,
and
yeah. Okay.
it
I saw
came
your
out.
poster. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, man, thank y'all a lot for having me in y'all production, and I'm looking forward to working with y'all in the future.
So
So
feature
much
film.
love.
Okay. So let's real quick. That's a feature.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And you did
A min,
premiere it.
an hour and 40 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. Now, is there a place that people can watch it anywhere? They have district.
We just had a premiere. They're gonna put it either on Apple TV or Amazon Prime. Don't quote me, but it
Okay.
will be out there soon. But I'll keep everybody updated on social media because that's where
There,
everybody can,
there it is.
check it
That's what
out.
I wanted you to
Facebook,
say.
Instagram.
Let them
Yeah,
know, and that's good, man. And when you know, let me know,
for sure.
and then we'll put it in the notes here
For sure. And then
for plugging the
also
notes.
shout out to Women in Film, Heartland. They've been
Oh yeah,
doing
yeah.
pretty good. They've done an awesome job. And I can't say too much about some stuff, but I
Yeah.
think they have things coming out. I think.
The
Hmm.
women in film do
Yeah, Heartland, Women in Film. Yep, in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Heartland. What is that? You gotta give me some
Organization,
schooling.
nonprofit. They do a lot of film and they do a lot of
Oh, they make
events and
film. They actually
yeah,
make film. Okay,
yeah.
I little out of the loop on that one.
It's
When
okay.
you
Come
said
on
women in
in.
film, I thought it was like teaching women in film, and it was classes. I didn't know
Yes,
they
they are.
actually
Now
make
this is
film.
Nashville. Nashville have
Okay,
one. There's
okay,
Women in Film in Nashville, and they have an
nice.
academy that I actually spoke at. Now they offer
Okay,
classes there, and it's a WIF Academy is what it's called. And I spoke at their school, so hey, I'm gonna give them a shout out as well. Hey,
okay.
thank y'all for having me speak at your academy, and I'm glad the students were able to learn and just take some of my advice. So thank y'all for having me too. So I gotta give
Nice.
shout outs to people, man. You know
Hey
how we do.
man,
We gotta show love, man.
I ain't mad at you. I'm not mad at you. Okay, we're winding down on time, but I wanted to ask you a couple questions for fun.
For
I like
sure.
to ask, what is your favorite movie that you can watch over and over? Doesn't have to be your
Ooh.
favorite movie, but one that if you caught it on TV, you have to watch
Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood.
it. That is the I remember when that came out when I was a teenager. That's the one you choose?
I know that movie from beginning to end, literally word from word. And if you ever want to test me on that, we could do it. We could do the split screen. We can play the movie, and I guarantee you, I
I'm
knock it
laughing at you
92%.
because I know you a little bit. You're a lot like me. You love martial arts.
Yeah.
You love
Yes.
Denzel. You
Yep.
love Marvel movies. You love,
Yep.
and the one that you pick
I know.
is that one.
It's a classic, man. It's a freaking classic. I mean, man, and they didn't even make that much. Like they didn't even have that much. Like when I look at that production now, little do I know it didn't take them that much money to make it,
The Wayne's brothers.
and they made millions off of it. And I see how they did it.
Oh my
I love.
gosh.
I traced at you.
Hey, you stay
I
down.
Mr. Announce yourself when you get smoked. I.
Oh man. Making a spoof on all the movies we grew up on.
Yeah.
Boys in the Hood, Menace to
Boys in the
Society.
Hood,
Man,
Miss Society.
I remember those days. Okay, let me
Yeah.
ask you another one.
Mm-hmm.
If there was an actor you can work with on the After series, and you could do a scene with him or her, who would it be? Only one. No, Hollywood star.
Hollywood stars. Hollywood
You would
stars.
pick
I ain't
one.
gonna say Denzel because you know we all.
Well, I said that actually in one of
Yeah.
mine. Hey, you can say whoever you want. Who's the one person? It could be anybody you want. It has to be alive. They have to be alive today. And we could bring them in for the After series for a scene for Leonard Freeney to do a scene with. Who would it be? Or her, either or.
Ooh. I'm trying to think of, man. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. But I'm gonna throw out the one that everybody like, Michael B. Jordan. I'm gonna throw him out there. I feel
Good
like he's
pick.
the face of the future of my lane that I want to
Face
come
of the
up after.
future. He's already the future.
Yeah, facts.
He's already
Right.
doing it.
He's already doing it. But
Yeah.
his jeopardy's gonna. I feel like he ain't got started yet. I feel like he's just gonna,
I
he's
see what you mean.
A-list right now. We got
Yeah.
Lakeith, we got it's a lot of people, man. It's a lot of people, man. But him, man, I just feel like he'll be a good challenge. Anybody who could challenge me, put me up on the level where I want to be, because I see some similarities. It'll definitely be
I
him.
like him. I saw. I'm a nerd, man. People think that I just make film or I just write. Like
Mhm.
people don't know me.
Mhm.
I am all in, like all hours of the night. Some people are like, "You're up at 2 a.m." I'm like, "Yep." I'll be messaging back. "Yep, 2 a.m."
Yep.
Anyways, I watch roundtables,
Uh-huh.
and I've seen the one with Michael B. Jordan.
Mhm.
Pretty good dude.
Mhm.
Pretty humble,
Yeah.
and I like the way he carries himself.
Yeah.
And there was this one I don't remember who he was on with, some of the other actors that he was on with, but I remember him getting so excited just talking about film
Mhm.
that he was like, he did one of these. He was like, whew. He's like, let's go make something. You guys want to go make
Uh,
something? That's how passionate he is.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
like the pick. That's a great pick.
I
Michael B.
mean, passionate even to the eating. I mean, I remember one time he was doing some interview and he was eating chicken, talking about I'm on a diet, and dude looked like, huh, But I used to
That's
get
funny.
that, like
Yeah.
one can of pop soda, it'll
Yeah.
mess up your whole day. You can't eat like that. So I'm
I
doing the same
saw,
thing. Like,
yeah.
hey, yo, man, I can't drink that. I can't eat BW3 right now. I can't,
We have our weaknesses. So we got to treat ourselves to something.
yeah,
And for me, it's
cheesecake.
always ice cream in the evening, man. I could be good all day, but I gotta have something. That's my
Yeah,
go-to. I don't
something.
know about you, but
Sundays, bro. Sundays for me. One thing every Sunday. I don't care what it is. Even if I feel like pigging out and I don't even have to, I'll
yeah.
just do it because I know you will want to later. So just eat what you want Sunday, pig out, and try
You got
again next
your own
week.
cheat day, right?
Yep.
You look forward to it, you get it out the way, and then you start your week off strong. Come back
Yep.
Sunday, do it again.
Yep.
Hey, that's all right. I like that. I like that. Well, man, before we go, is there anything you would like to say or add? Um, Anything at all that maybe we didn't talk about?
Well, man, just overall, it's been a journey, bro. It's been a journey. I appreciate Tennessee, Atlanta, Texas, Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, everyone, even in different states, that's been just with me on this journey, man. And You know, just watch me from college films to PAs to theater to short films to big budget films, now to
Mm.
TV series, man. It's just amazing. And I thank everybody. And, you know, it's never a dull moment with me. So just, you know,
Mm.
we going to do this together. You know, we're going to see where this goes, you know, where the message go, where the overall
Yeah,
reason behind this go, you know. So it's
I
all
love it.
love, man. And I hope to just give back to the film industry that I received from it, you
Mm.
know. That's all that I want. You know what I'm saying? So
Your
for
passion is
sure, man.
contagious, my man.
There you go. There you go.
All right, brother, man. Well, listen, I thank you for jumping on, and you know what? This probably won't be the last time. I'm sure we'll get on
Nah,
again.
I don't think so.
We'll do
You
some
know
live. We're
me.
going to be doing some lives, and I won't spoil it now, but we'll talk about that later. But
Okay.
thank you for coming on. Thank you
For
for being
sure.
a part of the After Series, and we're
For
blessed to
sure.
have you. And for all you watching, thank you so much for joining Actors on After. And until we see you in the next episode, God bless you guys.